That is good.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay, it's live now. Hello, somebody else. Very good one. No, it's faster than me. Open Oh no, it doesn't. Ivania? You have it up, Ivania, what here? She said to stop. Yeah. That's Ivania is looking so Match is along the side. The back. Where's the match? At the back of the Nadarajan. Please come today.
My humble welcome, namaste, namaskaram, om sairam. Very good evening and greetings to the word of your understanding. On behalf of the bereaving family, we want to welcome you all to the Karmadi Shantim, the 15th night memorial service of our beloved mom, Sushila Perumal, the wife to Subha Perumal, mother to Teresa, Seloshni, Ravi, Jaysilin, grandmother to Yuvania, Ria, Rivonia, Liam, Amy, mother-in-law to Sean, Shane, Indra, and Rashika, beloved sister to 3 sisters and 4 brothers, a loving sister-in-law and aunt to many, and also she leaves a host of family and friends. The group that's seated in front of you are no strangers to this family, members of Sithambaram Nadarajan Temple Society. We'll be rendering this evening's prayer service. It's a very humble request to you that during the duration of the service we expect to be quiet. And for those that know the hymns and psalms, you're most welcome to join in and be part of this prayer service. This prayer service will be made up of 2 parts, namely a first half of an invitation of all our Swamis to make themselves present at this Karmadi Shantim, this prayer. And the second half will comprise of sacred hymns from the Devas, Tiruvasa, and Tiru Arupa, during which time you'll be given an opportunity to offer your prayer in the form of a tribute to our beloved mom. With that, can we all humbly rise for the opening prayer?
शिवानंदने कृपा ओम तिरुसत्संबलम अले मगले ताये कर्मारी पोट्री ओम अले मगले ताये कर्मारी पोट्री ओम कले मगले ताये कर्मारी पोट्री नडुरेल वन पेरल मीनाक्षी तल्लेल वन पेरल शिवगामी देवातल कातनल कर्मारी ताये वन पदम नमस्ते 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 ओम पूर्वस्वः तस्य विदुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि यो यो न Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Siddhi Vinayaka Maya கங்கை அனந்தவா
At this juncture, we're going to call upon Sithambaram to give a word of thanks before we continue with the session.
Vanakkam, namaste, and greetings to one all. My name is Ivania, and I am the eldest granddaughter of our late Rishina Perumal. And today I have a small speech to say on behalf of all of us. Our grandmother was a member of the family of Viswanathan Temple. She played a vital role in the lives of everyone who knew her. She had a passion for making sure everyone who came to our house never left unfed. She was a caring, strong-willed person who always put the needs of others before her own. Even though she was ill, she never left. She still woke up every morning to make sure my grandfather and everyone else was taken care of. Her independence was something which stood out even on her bad days. I can speak for hours on how kind and special our grandmother was. And I'm sure when I say this, everyone will agree with me. I say her smile was truly something out of this world, and her laughter was so infectious it brightened up everyone around her. We will love and miss her always, every day for the rest of our lives. Just well, Aya, we love you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Aya's granddaughter. I just have a poem to read. A line from our family is gone. A voice we love is still his vacant home, which never came. We have to mourn the loss of one we would have loved to keep. Our daughter thought he loved her best, has finally made her sleep. After a lifetime of love and joy and music to our ears, God leaves these wondrous memories to us to help us through tears.
On behalf of the family, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to everyone who loves, support, and contributions to us during our bereavement. It is much appreciated. Love to all. God bless and thank you.
Thank you, the brave girls, for taking up this time and speaking on behalf of your granny. We know it's a mammoth task to do that, especially during this time. However, I think she's smiling wherever she is, that she has a beautiful granddaughters that can stand up and say a few words on behalf of her. Also, very imperative. We know also know Amma personally, and we talk about the smile. Yes, the smile with that laugh and everything was a joke. I think all of us, we wish to live a life like that at some time in our life. And yes, they've been very devoted members of the Palmview temple where they sacrifice much of their time. And we know what it takes. We belong to a temple, so we know it takes lots of your time, lots of your family time. You have to share and be a part of the temple. So thank you, Amma, for being that. Thank you to our Appa for always instilling and ensuring that our culture continues and grows with icons like themselves. We know that we can also always look upon them and say that, you know what, we never done one bit as yet to what they have done. We haven't accomplished nothing to what they have done. So we've got a lot more to do. Each one of us know that we have a lot more to do in all aspects of our lives. Yes, we need to progress. We need to progress in our lives, our daily lives. We need to get all the riches that we can, but do not forget your culture. Make sure that your culture is instilled in you, and you make sure you continue to love your culture. And these are some of the things that our forefathers, when we came onto this land, yes, they were oppressed, they were slaves, they were not, people talk about hard work and so forth. No, our forefathers were slaves. And the only thing that they believed and they strongly believed in is that they had a kadabo. They were the God that each one of them could, get up in the morning and even offer water. They never had nothing to offer. They offered water. They offered water to this God, Suryan, to Sivaya. They offered water and they did their prayer. And that's why we became prosperous. We became prosperous, all the prayer that they have put into the soils to make sure that we were okay. So we don't continue that. We're going to someday be saddened is that we won't have a culture left. And yes, sometimes the other races think that we've been given, we have been afforded advantage. No, we were not. We were just hard workers. We were instilled, hard work was instilled in our culture. It was part of our culture that we have to work and achieve whatever we need to achieve. And that's what our parents did. Uncle Suva, Amma did the same thing. They did that to ensure that this culture lives on. And this Swami, this Kadabula that we pray to, this Kadabula we pray to, he's going to be there. In the recent week with the writing, Phoenix could have been over. Could have been over. 1949, they did not worse to our people. Phoenix could have been over. Everything could have been over. Because when I sat back and I realized that we are surrounded from Kenobia to Mount Moriah, we are surrounded by other people. But I think God intervened. we intervened. Sometimes it's difficult to talk sense with people that don't want to understand or they deliberately don't want to understand. But there had to be some intervention. And this prayer, and when I say prayer from all forces, all facets of life. Whoever was praying, they prayed, and we are now so-called safe until then. But let's not give up hope. Let's ensure that we continue to pray. That the hymns we can render just now, Tevaram, Tiruvasagam, Tiruvasam, Tiruvasagam, Tiru Arupa, we're going to recite. And I just want to give you some synopsis. Most of us refer these padigams as funeral songs because of a lack of understanding. We refer, but I want to give you synopsis and give you some understanding of how powerful and how potent these hymns that we're going to recite. We recite it at funerals because we at our lowest at that time, we lost our loved one. But you can recite it every day. There's a padigam for every aspect of your life. In every aspect of your life, there's a padigam that you can recite for every purpose. Mandira Mahapada Niru was sung when the devotees had fever, high temperature. That was sung for the temperatures to come down. So we will render Todudaya. The padigam was, but Trinyana Sambandan was three years old. Remember that we had 63 Nayanas that walked the earth, Trinyana Sambandan, Manika Vasa, Sundramurti Nayama, and so forth, Valavar, and so forth. All the saints walked on the earth, but I'm going to touch on a few. Trinyana Sambandan was 3 years old. When he was left on the river bank to pray, his father went to have a bath. He came back, he saw milk running down his cheeks, and he said, Father was upset. Oh, who did you take the milk from? Then he started singing, Todudaya Siviyan Videyo Togun Madisudi Kadudaya Sudale Pudi Pusti and Ullam Kaval Kalven Edudaya Malaran Muninal Panindete Arul Seida Pidudaya Piraman Puramevi and Brahman. Even Andre, I sang the whole verse because the word Andre. Andre says the great one. Andre is the great one that came down, descended, and is giving a description of Lord Namatsivaya. With the earrings on his ear, the crescent moon on his head, the Gange flowing out of his head, is giving a full description of who came. He is 3 years old, so he's giving a description of who came down from the sky. So he had confrontation with God himself. With Namatsivaya himself, he had confrontation. He's giving a description. And he says, in the padigam, he says that he was given this jnana part. And ever since Trinyana Sambandan was one of the most revered sages, one of the most revered saints, and most of them have not even took samadhi, they didn't even take death. Most of our saints disappeared while they were in meditation. Over 400 years they lived. Some of them went into the mountains and never came back because they were pure. And because the world has started becoming sin, and it started coming, our lifespans are coming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That's our lives are getting shortened because of the world, and it's so sin, and we cannot live a sinless life. We cannot. For some reason, we want to talk about somebody. And I always say, whatever comes out of his mouth, you cannot put it back. You can say sorry, you can apologize, you can humble yourself for it, but you cannot take that word back. That word, you can never swallow it back. When it's out of your mouth, it's out of your mouth, it's done. So be careful. Calculate what you're going to say. Calculate your conversation. Calculate exactly what you're going to say next. Because these things are hurtful. And you are hurting a soul that's inside a body, and these souls belong to God. This every soul, that's what we're doing. We're sending the soul back to its maker. This Karamadi Shanti, and we prepared today for the soul. We invite Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Lord Siva Piramana. We invited them all to prepare the soul to send it on its journey back to its maker. That's what we're doing. So the soul inside us, as Hindus, we put our palms together, we bow our head, Vanakam, Namaste, or Namaskaram, we say, we bow our head because we prostrate in front of that soul, that divine soul inside you. That's what we do. So when you say something, just remember, the soul has to live on, and we are interfering with that soul. We are saying something bad to that soul, and that soul got to live on. We don't know where the soul is going to come back. Maybe it's going to be born back in your family as another child, and we have interfered with that soul. And that's why the world is so sin. We need to refrain. We need to refrain. So we as a family are gathered, and we're doing this prayer. We say knowingly or unknowingly, we as a family, we have made any mistakes, and we have transgressed the soul. We ask for an apology. We ask to be humbly. We come down and we kneel down and we pray. We say, Swami, please apologize us for our ignorance. And the same thing, we pray for Amma. Amma's soul, while the soul was in her body and it transgressed in any other way, we ask Swami for forgiveness. Do not punish the soul. Let the soul, we believe that the soul we want the soul to take moksha. But the soul will also take rebirths. And if the soul does not take, if the soul is meant to be born again, we pray that it must take the highest form of birth, a human birth. And it must come back and enjoy life to the fullest, without any suffering, without any sickness. We must come and have a blissful life. That's what our prayer is tonight. Our prayer is tonight, and over the 15 days, this family has been praying for the very, very same purpose. So also, through this course, we're going to do the Padigam Sutrane Vedian. I'm just going to give you quick ones. We are running out of time. So I'm saying the Sutrane Vedian, also Padigam, is a Devaram that we'll sing. We'll sing. It says that it goes so deep. The family now is in pain. This family has lost the matriarch of the family. You know, the head of the family is gone. And, you know, it's like you're losing your limbs. That's how it is, because this is the matriarch of the family. And so it says, just to give you some word of comfort, it says that in this Padigam, it says, even if your fellow men turn against you, they tie up boulders onto your shoulder and throw you into the ocean. Even the extreme of the extremes can happen. You just hail their name, Namah Shivaya, and he will be there to guide you. You will not even sink. You will rise. That's how powerful these Padagams are. Petrapai is an arupa. Petrapai Tane Magamarandalam is an arupa that we're going to read it just now. It's going to say that even if a child can forget the mother and the mother can forget the child. If the eyes can forget the eyelids and the eyelids can forget the eyes. If the soul can forget the body and the body can forget the soul. Even if all these extremes happen, just believe in Namah Shivaya and he will be there to guide you and comfort you. All the things that we call problems are not problems in our life, they're challenges to make us stronger. We need to get stronger with this. We need to get stronger. Every time you have a situation in your life, go back, research, go back and ask your community leaders. Even Uncle Siva will give you advice. They've been many years in temple. Uncle Gopal has been many, many years in temple with us. So all these, you need some advice, they will refer you to the right people. I have a problem in my life, this is a problem in my life. And Hinduism is not, it's a way of life. And most of it, when you do a prayer, most of the prayer goes back to the universe. Everything we do goes back to the universe. Everything we do goes back to the universe. If you understand and you start finding out and you have an inquisitive mind, you're going to know that every bit of the prayer we do, we pray back to the universe. Everything must go back to the universe. That's what we pray. With that, Mika Nandri, we're going to start with the second half of the prayer. We're going to start with the immediate family. Then family, friends, and whoever is here, please come and offer your prayer. There must be continuity in this prayer. There mustn't be a stop, because we come collectively as one family and we don't want a destruction on Ama's journey. We want this journey to be a continuous journey till she reaches Super Maker. So we want to do that in an orderly fashion. Come in your family units and offer your prayer. You can thank you.
Stand out. Everybody stand out.
Thank you. Shivaya, Hare Hare, Namah
Thank you all for joining us this evening in this prayer. Can we have the immediate family in France? Whoever else wants to join in? Anyone on your right? Just an announcement, please. There's supper that's been lovingly packed for you. So supper is not going to be served here. If you're ready to leave, supper is going to be served in your toilets, so you can take them.